a few different things that I wanted to just talk about. There's a lot more than three. I'll whiz through as many as I can get through. Stop me if you want to ask any more questions about any of them. They're a bit more grounded in what you could possibly do tomorrow, you know, as a salesperson, which is what I am. So there's just a few of them. I'll whiz through as many as we can get through in the allotted time. Let me show you, it's kind of related to the top one, something called Winback. I used to work for IBM. IBM, anybody that is not an IBM user, we used to say that they're in a Winback campaign, assuming that they naturally and historically were IBM users. So we must be winning them back. Okay, very arrogant way of thinking about it, but that's the way IBM thought of it. So that's where I got the term from. But Winback is basically, the easiest thing to do here probably is to show you an example. Again, dentistry, here's an example of what we do in dentistry. As some of you I'm sure are well aware, others may not be, dentists have big lists of people they call patients. They usually have a bigger list of names than they actually have of patients, and although there's recall programs that go on to get people to come back into the practice, after a while the people who are not coming for their 6th monthly checkup usually is a larger number than the people who actually are coming to the checkup, because the recall program is failing. So what we do is take a list of all the people in the practice. We take off the list people who haven't been for 5 years, because we assume they're not coming back anyway. We take off a list of all the people that have been in the last 9 months. Okay? And for the ones that are left, we've got people who are failing to respond to the recall campaigns. So we send them a postcard. Okay? And this postcard says, where are you? Checking our records, long time since you've been in. We hope your teeth haven't fallen out. And it's got a little quote for the British Dental Health Foundation on the back. We send them that. That postcard gets a 9.2% response rate currently for the times we're running it. So if you've got a list of 500 patients or so that you're running the Winback campaign on, that'll bring you in 45 patients. For the people that don't respond to that, they then get a letter. It looks something like that. It's lumpy, it's got something in it. People open it, wonder what's in it. There's a little doll in it. Okay, it's a Guatemalan worry doll. They go, what the heck is this? I've now got to read the letter because I want to know what this is all about. The objective of this, of course, is simply to get them to read the letter. So that's fulfilled its objective. They read the letter and it just said, hey, we're worried about you, haven't seen you for a while, please come in and book an appointment. And then there's an explanation of what the worry doll is about. That's getting 9.6% response at the moment. So that's 9.6% on a list that have already not responded to recalls and haven't responded to the postcard. So it's getting harder work to get them to respond. But that's getting 9.6, I think it is, response. We then, phase 3 is actually, this is a telephone script, so it's just a simple script. We get either the practice can phone them up, but usually that just never happens, so I just give it to an outside agency. They just bash through the phones, phone on behalf of the practice, follow a very simple script, says, hey, you haven't been in, we'd like to book an appointment with you. Awful lot of voicemail goes on, that's absolutely fine, just leaving the name and the number of the practice, and you go through. There's a little script that anybody who's telesales trained could follow, and that is getting a 20%, between 22 and 26% response rate of people that didn't respond to the recall program or the first postcard or the worry doll letter. So that works well, but it's a bit more expensive to do. And the final thing that we do, 4 stage, is actually, the envelope is actually the important thing here, which is, it's a warning letter, basically to say, hey, you're not responding, hope you're okay, but if you don't want to hear from us anymore, then do you want us to send your medical records or dental records somewhere else? Okay? We're not actually going to do that. So that's like a final scare, and that's getting a 7% response. Okay? But 7% of people that didn't respond to the recall program, didn't respond to the postcard, didn't respond to the worry doll letter, didn't respond to the telesales. So we're getting hard worked when we get down to here. Okay? So that's what we do in dentistry. Obviously dentists and the relationship with a list in dentistry is quite close. It's a good relationship, it's a trusting relationship, so there's quite high response rates to run that program. For your industry and with your relationship, it may not be as good, but you could do something like that. You could adapt something like that to just about any industry where you have a list of customers and run it through. And in dentistry, it's sort of B2C, so you're looking at maybe a list of hundreds. Your list might be 10, 20, 50, I don't know. You know, but people you haven't had contact with before. I had a call actually the other day, I had a call from an IFA who's taken over from Julian, who is my IFA, or an IFA that sold me stuff, who works for the company he used to work for, and they're obviously just going back through the list trying to set up review appointments. Okay, so I've never met this guy, but phones up, he obviously knows what policies I have open, and he just calls me up and tries to organise a checkup. Okay, great. I didn't actually accept it because I'm still in contact with Julian, although he's a lazy bugger, and the fact that he hasn't done a checkup just pisses me off, and I've told him about it so many times he must be losing loads of business. But he's a personal friend, so I'm going to go back and kick his arse, and still not expect him to actually do an IFA checkup on me. But nevertheless, this works in all industries. And I'm sure you can think of a way of having a checkup in your business with your customers, where this would work. And of course, don't lose them again. Once you've got them back, don't lose them again. Keep in contact with them. Newsletters be going on for hundreds of years. They still work. They're still extremely profitable. You've got email newsletters now, text newsletters, tweets, I think they're called, Facebook posts, I think they're called, all those sorts of things. It's just a contact stream with your customers. Okay, what else have we got in here? Oh yeah, know your lifetime value. This is assuming that you understand the value of your customer over the lifetime. So here's a fairly sophisticated algorithm. If anybody wants a copy of this on a spreadsheet, by the way, I've got this program. I finally figured out how to get Excel to do these calculations where you can type in these parameters and it will come out with the lifetime value of your customer. So if you want to send me an email, I'm happily just send you the spreadsheet, and you can have that, and you can play around, and you can figure out the lifetime value of your customer. It'll be more significant than you imagined, I'm sure. There is a retention rate in there. There's a first year retention rate and a successive year's retention rate. If you're piss poor at keeping in contact with people, obviously your retention rate might be too large. That might be a problem. And if you can fix that problem, you'll get a bigger lifetime value.